Hello there, my name's Card. I'm a long-time progressive community organiser and activist. And today I just want to briefly articulate something about the nature of contemporary anti-Semitism I think most self-described progressives and lefties and liberals all miss. Modern anti-Semitism is essentially all caused by jealousy, and I think understanding this will be very helpful to anyone left of centre who thinks anti-Semitism is a real problem and who wants to know how to best help address it. Now, a lot of people who have read a lot of big fancy books about how the far right-wing reactionary fascist worldview works will tell you that ultra-right-wing governments and political parties need an outgroup to blame for all their problems, who they can demonise and attack and rally their in-group around the idea of attacking. And the obvious example is, of course, the Nazis in the mid-20th century demonising Jews in Europe. You know, Hitler had to single out the Jews and blame them for all Germany's problems so that everyone else would support him and the Nazi Party when they promised to fix the problems by getting rid of all the Jews. But that sort of explanation only accounts for the fact a fascist government will always have to find some other group to blame. It doesn't properly explain why it is that the group that gets the blame so consistently is the Jews. And it's because modern neo-Nazis and the far right, the alt-right, whatever you want to call it, they still say all the same things Hitler and co. did back then today. They're still blaming the Jews. So why is that specifically? I'm going to suggest, very confidently, it's just jealousy. It's got nothing to do with real historical analysis, and their arguments don't even have any real basis in reality. It just comes down to simple jealousy. See, hardcore, true-believing neo-Nazis today, if they were being totally honest with you, they would tell you their hatred of Jews comes down to a number of things they falsely believe to be true about the world. The modern alt-right person earnestly, though incorrectly, believes that all the Jews in the world are all secretly working together to their common benefit. They've been doing this for literally thousands of years, and particularly in the last few centuries, this means working to covertly take control of every single bank, newspaper, movie studio, and so on and so forth, or to secretly help out all the other Jews in the world. And the reason the far right thinks this is bad is just because they want that for themselves. They think this conspiracy is real, and they're primarily just jealous they can't get in on it. They don't like that Jews, in their view, run all these businesses because they think it would be wrong for a single group to monopolise industries. If they did, they would be making more of a focused critique of capitalism itself. They just want to be the ones in charge, and they're deeply envious of the Jews they imagine to be in control of every industry, even though obviously that's not really the case. A lot of alt-right white supremacists see no problem with people of colour being disproportionately poor because of the knock-on effects of centuries of overt oppression and so on, but they think Jews have somehow secretly taken over all Western countries in the past 100 years. They think there's a sort of racial or religious nepotism going on behind the scenes, but they're not against that in principle, they just don't like how it's the Jews who are ostensibly beating them at their own game. Even if you see a big criticism of Israel, for instance, coming from the hard right, they're not making it because they disagree with Israel's policies on moral grounds or out of a sense of empathy for the Palestinians or whatever. They think Israel is basically good. They just want a country like that for themselves. It's completely loony thinking. But when, or if, you're trying to discuss or debate politics with someone on the hard right, just keep this in mind. They don't like Jews because they're jealous. That's where it all stems from. They sincerely believe in a global conspiracy being run against them by less than 2% of the world's population, and they're sad and angry that even in their fantasies, they're losing. It's just something to reflect on. Anyway, once again, my name's Card. If you want to hear more from me, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube page, or just take a look at my other videos. Either way, goodbye for now, and have a lovely day.